It is 5:45, so maybe we get started. Welcome everyone to our virtual open house. I have a short presentation and then we're going to open it up to questions because I'm sure you have a lot of questions. So I'm just going to go over a few things with you. Most of you have been to JCS, so you kind of know the routines. We have made some changes because of some of the Department of Education recommendations, but and then we have the kindergarten parents. I don't know how many are in the audience tonight, but we did have a separate virtual open house for you earlier, but feel free to ask more clarifying questions at this point. And those of you who don't know me, I'm Mrs. Bolton. I'm the principal at JCS, and Anne-Marie.
I'm Mrs. Baker. I'm the assistant principal and early childhood coordinator for the Little Answers.
And I am Mrs. Savage, and I am the team chair for JCS.
So if you have any specific special education questions, Diana's going to be able to answer those for you tonight.
But if there are student-specific questions, please don't hesitate to email me because if you don't want to share on this forum.
Yeah, and also any other questions, I know question might pop up tomorrow. Please email us or call the school. We're available and hopefully have answers to you. So I'm just going to present a little bit and then we'll go right to the questions. We're going to wait to answer any questions until I've presented the short PowerPoint. So just wanted to, these are the areas I wanted to highlight tonight. The safety and the things that we have planned at our school. A little bit about arrival because it's going to be different from last year. Lunch, recess, dismissal. And then I just wanted to mention that I have a very detailed written reopening plan that has a lot of this information in there, but even in more detail that I might be telling you tonight. So I will be emailing that hopefully, if not tomorrow, over the weekend. So you have a chance to read through some of the things that we put in place and plans. And certainly after you read through that document, if you have any further questions, I'd love to hear from you and just give you answers. If as long as I have them, we are still, you know, every day something new comes up and we're figuring out how we're going to do it. But we know that you're going to be supportive of us. And if you notice anything that could be done better or could be changed, we're certainly open to that too. We're planning for something that has never happened. So, you know, we plan the best we can and then we may have to tweak. So, and I just wanted to mention that also the plan has a little bit about social and emotional learning. That's going to be a highlight for us to make sure kids are feeling good. And it's been a long time they've been out of school. So that's definitely our focus, especially in the beginning of the year. So just a little bit about safety. You will be getting, well, the class placements will be mailed tomorrow. So you will get a mailing on your child's teacher. But it also will have, we're going to put in what we have currently available as far as is your child taking a bus? Are they going to Champions? Are they parent pickup? And when you get that letter, I urge you that if we have your child going, being dismissed to the bus, but they're not taking the bus, that you let us know so that the first day we're sure that we know where every child is supposed to be dismissed to. And then the other piece is really important is just make sure that if you have changed your address, your email, any of your contact telephone numbers, that we have them. Call the school. We typically send a form that you can double check and verify and change. But if you know that your information has changed since last spring, please call Lisa and Colleen in the office so we can get that in. Just in case there was a dismissal or anything like that, we want to have all the numbers. We are trying to keep students as in as small of a cohort as we can. So their cohort will be the classroom cohort group. So it's about half of the class. I'd say our numbers range from anywhere from 8 to 12. So 12 is the max of students that we have in the classrooms. And the the lunch cohorts are a little bit larger. It's at grade level, but at lunch they will be 6 feet apart. And also in the classroom, we have desks 6 feet apart. So the arrival, we are using several doors to arrive and several entrances around the building so that we're trying to keep students sort of separated and we don't have a large congregation anywhere. You know, JCS has over 400 students, so we'll have half of them coming in, but it's still a lot of students. And then classrooms, I mentioned they are 6 feet apart, the desks. We also, for kindergarten, we got full yoga mats, and then for grades 1 through 3, we have a half a yoga mat that students can use as an alternative spot to sit in. They might, you know, teacher might ask half of the class sit on their yoga mat, just to give a little bit of a variety of what's happening in the classroom and still keeping kids separated. Hallways, we will have, we have two-way traffic. Our hallways are, fortunately, most of them are 8 to 9 feet wide, so that we have space, put decals so kids can space themselves, but we're also going to tell the kids to hug the wall. But we're going to try to avoid kids going one direction and the other direction the same time as much as we can. We do have one hallway that we have designated one way because it is narrow. So, but otherwise our building, we really can't make it happen if we try to make one way hallways, all of them. Lunchtime, the students will be having their lunch at a desk. It will be in the cafeteria. They will have an assigned desk, and then in between lunches, the custodial and the cafeteria staff will be cleaning and disinfecting the desks for the next group. Lunch is still 30 minutes like it was before. Recess, we have scheduled 2 outdoor recesses of about 15 minutes. And again, we're going to be separating the cohorts. So each classroom cohort will have their separate area. We're fortunate that we have enough space out there that we can do that. And then at dismissal, again, we have various ways that students are going to be moving so that they're not all getting out from the same doorway. So a little bit more about arrival. So Department of Education has recommended that all drop-offs and pickups are live. That means that we don't have parents congregating anywhere, or we're not releasing large number of students at the same time. So that is a huge change for JCS from the past. So the loop is, the front loop is not going to be used for drop-off anymore because we felt we needed an alternate spot and we could spread out kids a little bit. And I think we also, in the end, probably it's going to be faster once we get the kids in a routine. It might be slow for first couple days. So what we've decided to do is to have all of the parent drop-off and pickup go in the back of the building. So there's a fire lane that's at the end of the parking lot where the, near where the collection boxes for the SBO, the white collection box, and we're gonna just have traffic loop around to the back where the basketball court is, and kids are gonna actually get out at that spot. Kindergarteners are gonna go through their own entranceway, and then the other students are going through the other entrance. And you will have a detailed map in that reopening plan with arrows so you can really see. There's a picture of the aerial picture of the building so you can see how everyone's going in. The buses are going to be unloading the same spot that they were last year. And then there will be staff along the hallways to make sure that kids are separating and going straight to the classroom. We will have additional staff for kindergarten students at both locations since kindergartners have not been in our building, and typically we do line them up outside, but this year we're not able to do that. If students are tardy, we're still going to ask you to come to the loop and walk your child in and sign them in, but it might not be actual paper sign in. The secretaries will sign the child in, but you still need to do that. And then, I mentioned the map already. Lunch, we have 4 or 5 classrooms, but we've staggered the time, so not all classes are going the same time. Again, try to avoid congregating too many students in one place. There will also be 5 minutes in between lunches so that the custodial crew have time to clean. That means that we start lunch at 11. Kindergarten lunch will be at 11. And then everyone will have assigned seats, so every day they will sit at the same seat. Recess, we have 2 15-minute outdoor recesses, and then teachers will give additional mask breaks and breaks within the classroom, or there are a few spaces that they might take their class outside in addition to the 2 15-minute recesses. The recommendation is to try to give kids a mask break about every hour. So we're going to try to do that within a day. And again, the recess is with their cohorts, so they're not going to be mingling with all of the 3rd grade students or the 2nd grade students. The only time that the whole grade level is together is in the cafeteria. But again, they're separated 6 feet apart and they have their own seat. Dismissal, parent pickup will be the same way from the back of the building. We are hoping to get in the mailing tomorrow a parent pickup tag for every parent who is, or family, if it's more than one child, who's going to be picking up. And we're going to ask you to tape that onto the driver's side passenger window. And my plan is to just walk along the line of cars who are waiting for dismissal, get the numbers down, and we're going to call students by their number instead of name, because that is just not going to be an effective way of getting everyone down. And we're going to have cones set up on basketball court, and then physical distancing markers so kids can come down fairly quickly, and then we can just have you grab your child. You know, if they can go in the car by themselves, you don't have to get out of the car. If you need to help them with car seat or something like that, you do need to have a mask when you load your children. And the bus is the same way. Buses are going to be dismissed from the bus lot. I just put this early dismissal here because we don't know how it's going to go, and it's a lot of kids being dismissed. We have a fair number of parent pickups. We've always had a lot, but we now have even a little bit more. So if you have to dismiss your child early, it has to happen before 3 p.m. At 3 p.m., we're going to stop that because it's too hectic in the office. We don't want anyone going in the wrong place. We want to make sure the teacher has the message, unless it's an emergency. But so if you're planning on dismissing your child early, it has to be before 3. And then I just put in here that the teachers are going to be planning a virtual open house for students. I believe you will get something by Tuesday so that at least they can see their teacher, see their classroom. So that's coming, since this was just for parents. And I think that's all I have for my slideshow, and we can open it up now to questions, if you have any.
All right. I have the first question is, what time do the Zoom meetings start on virtual days? I believe that will be teacher directed, so your teacher will let you know, they will reach out to you to let you know those learning from home days will be through the teacher. Let me just see. My kids are in school on Tuesday, Thursday. Which days are for Zoom and which one is for assignments? Also has Zoom information given for the first day. So I believe, oh, go ahead, Rita.
I don't think the teachers have shared that yet, but they will be contacting you. So the teachers are going to be teaching live during those days, the 4 days, Tuesday through Friday. So they have one group or another in front of them live. So they're not going to be doing separate Zoom meetings with the kids who are learning from home. They will be providing videotaped, at least a few videotaped lessons that children can watch during that learning from home day. And then on Monday in the morning, there will be live teaching for all of the students in that grade. So it would be the whole class, not both cohorts, because we don't have Monday's a remote Monday. And then they will have assignments for the Monday afternoon.
Okay. When will we have a bus schedule?
So they are working on it right now. I just inquired about it today. They are almost done with the bus schedules. So that should be coming out. I think they typically post it right on the website, and they post it by street, typically not a name. So they'll have bus 15 and these are the stops, so that then you can, and if you have any questions, once those have been published, please call. Probably the superintendent's office, the business office would be the best place to call, because they work on bus routes.
Okay. How will recess be handled with social distancing guidelines, and will students be able to play together?
So they're going to have to be distancing. We're hoping that recess is going to be a time when they can take a mask break. And they're going to just have to be at least 6 feet apart. And unfortunately, not going to be able to get any closer because of the guidelines. So we're currently looking at what can they do during recess time, because we also can't share materials.
Okay. If we miss computer pickup, what should we do for the first day?
So I just found out today that because of their capacity, they've had computer pickup in 5 schools. And also our secretaries are trying to get the bus lists and all of that. So we're not going to be able to have people pick up, except if you are fully remote. Fully remote, parents can contact the school if you miss the pickup date. Otherwise, the students are going to get theirs the first in-school day. So on Wednesday, the 16th, cohort 2 will come to school. So they will get their devices then. And then on Thursday, cohort 1, those students who did not pick up theirs last Thursday.
Okay, what about snack time? And I'm assuming that might be relation to mask wearing. I'm not sure, or time, I'm not sure. It just says, what about snack time?
So we will still have snack time. We'll still have the same kind of expectations. If there are classrooms that have allergies, we ask parents not to send things like with peanut butter and things like that. But we are hoping to do it in both ways during outdoor break, and then also possibly indoors. And what we're thinking, instead of having everyone eat, because they are 6 feet apart, but to even distance them a little bit when they're taking their mask off, we might have every other column take a snack break, and then the other column takes a break. So, but they will definitely have a snack break.
Okay. Where will champions be located?
Oh, good question. We just went over where could we put them and what's the best place for them, because we actually will have daytime cohorts too. So, so the plan is that all before and after school champions will go to the cafeteria just like last year, but during the daytime, students will be, one group will be in a multi-purpose room, which is sort of adjacent to the gym. And I think Champions was quite a few years there. We've just changed it maybe 2 years ago. And then also the art room, because the art, all specials will be taught in the classroom, so the students aren't traveling from room to room. The teachers will be traveling.
Okay. Are the remote days including Zoom meetings, or is that just Mondays?
So remote days, they may have a morning meeting or something with the whole class, but there are no Zoom meetings because the teachers are teaching the kids who are in person in school, so they can't do both.
What time is first grade lunch?
It is, let me see, 11:05, 11:40 and 11:45. So there's going to be one group, either 2 classes or 3 classes going at 11:40 and then the other one 11:45. So we're staggering them a little bit.
The next question, are we using Ingenuity? I don't have a login or password information yet. I'm not sure what platform you are using.
So I don't believe elementary students are using Ingenuity. Those students who are fully remote are using the Florida Virtual School element. So all K through 5 students are using that Florida Virtual School as a
Right.
platform.
And that's only for the remote only students, so not the
Yes.
hybrid students. Okay. My children are starting Thursday in school. What should we expect for Wednesday, the first day of school?
So the teachers will send a schedule and assignments for students who are starting on Wednesday who are learning from home.
Okay. What will the policy process be if you have someone else picking up your children? Will they need to have the pickup pass with them? Thank you.
So what we're planning on doing is giving each family 2 passes. Might be mom and dad. So for the regular pickups, so that you will have 2 passes, but everyone must have a pass if they come to the live pickup in the back of the school. If you have an unusual circumstance, your child normally takes a bus, but on certain day they need to be picked up. You'll need to send a note, just like in the past, and then we're going to have whoever's picking them up park in the parking lot, and then come to this office, and we need to check the IDs or like things like that we would normally do, and then we will release the child that way.
Okay. If our kids are starting the year as full remote with the hope that they will be back at JCS later in the year, should we be paying the bus registration fee now or by the October deadline?
That is a question that I don't have an answer to. I would say that call the business office at the superintendent's office, because I don't have the answer to that. I don't know if they're going to hold slots for people. I know that you had to register, so I would call them.
Okay. What will Monday look like for remote champion students? Will both cohorts Tuesday, Thursday, and Wednesday, Friday be together?
Remote Monday for
The champions.
that would again be a champions question. I know that they have to keep their cohorts separate.
Right.
So I would direct that to champions because I do not have that answer.
Okay. So do we drive out back for drop off and pickup?
Yes, yes. And you will get the plan that will be emailed to you, the reopening plan. So look for that. We'll have much more detailed direction for everything. And there will be a map showing you how we're going to do it.
Okay. My son is going to kindergarten. I missed the other session. How will he know what room to go in when I drop him off? He sometimes gets uneasy about things, so he doesn't know. I haven't received anything yet, so he wasn't sure.
So we are going to have extra staff available, anyone who is not assigned to a classroom, to help take kindergarten students to their classrooms. And certainly if you're having a difficult time and your child is upset, I would just park the car and you can call the school and we will have a staff member come and help you out, and we'll get the children in. But we will have staff available to actually walk them into the classroom. And they should be able to see their classroom with the virtual open house that teachers are going to provide by Tuesday, so that you have a chance to meet the teacher online and see the classroom.
Okay. Will second graders have a Google Classroom set up so they can just click the links at certain times? It would be difficult for parents at work to set their children up with their classes via links sent by email.
So we have, and can you remember the name, Anne Marie? We have a program now that all of the
Oh,
links,
Seesaw. Are you talking about Seesaw?
well, Seesaw, but also
Oh.
we have like a portal that's going to have all the, like the passwords and all of the things in one place.
Was that going to be in Parent Square or was that a different one? I'm not sure.
I don't remember the name of it, but you
Okay.
will have, so we're trying to streamline, so you have one place to look for passwords and logins and all of that. The K through 1 classes are used in Seesaw, and grade 2, they had an option. They could use Google Classroom or a Seesaw, but it'll be a grade level decision. You'll get information on that. But either way, you will have a sort of more central location where you get the logins. And also, we made a decision just to have those two, Google Classroom or Seesaw, so that parents don't have several different programs that they need to work with.
Is there an expectation on approximately how long the Zooms will be?
I don't remember off the top of my head if there was a actual minute, but it would be a lesson. It would be a math lesson. It would be a social studies, language arts lesson, or science lesson. But I don't have exact timing on it.
Okay. Is Zoom going to be the remote learning tool, or are we going to be using another platform like Blackboard?
Maybe we need to clarify, is this for the remote only? So I don't know. So teachers will be using—
Probably for Monday. I'm assuming maybe they're thinking the remote day for Monday.
Yeah, so we have Zoom and we have Google Meet. So those are the two platforms that—
All right, the next one I think you answered, there will be specials, but the specialists will be going to the classrooms.
Yes, and because of the nature of just coming to school 2 days a week in person, we moved all of our specials into all elementary schools into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But because there's only 2 and we only have so many staff members, we also decided not to have staff members travel between 2 schools on the same day, because that was happening in the past. But given this, we want to keep cohorts separate and as much as possible not mixing 2 schools. So so their schedules are a little bit different, but everyone will have a special. Not everyone's going to have all the specials to start with, but we're hoping to, by the end of the first trimester, to see if we can switch them around. So if your child is getting a wellness class twice a week, this trimester, we're trying to see if they could get something else at another trimester so that they have more options. And also, some of our elementary specialists will be recording lessons in their area. So if your child, for example, will not have an art class, there will be an elementary art class, probably K1 and 2-3, or maybe 2 to 5 and K1, so that your child will be able to participate in a special that they don't have in person in school.
Okay, the next one I'm just going to answer. As far as the Chromebooks or the iPads or the devices they receive, they should bring them in for their in-person days. They do need them at all grade levels for them to bring them in on their in-person day.
And we're really going to try to make sure that parents also, that they're fully charged when they come to school, because we're going to be trying to avoid having the charger go back and forth, because we feel that that could be something that might get lost. So
if I decide to switch fully remote learning at some point, how would that be handled?
So you would contact the school, and I believe we have like a 24-hour lag time because we have to make it happen. But yes, you are, per the Department of Education regulations, you are able to switch from hybrid to remote or from remote to hybrid. You just have to contact the school.
Okay, the next one, will students be able to talk at lunch?
They will be 6 feet apart though, so, but yes, they'll still be able to talk.
Okay, earliest drop-off time for kids and what time are they considered late?
9:05 is when they can enter the building, and the bell rings 9:15, so that after that they would be considered tardy. However, I'm sure the at least first couple of weeks, buses may be late. Our drop-off may be slow until we get the routine going. So we're not going to be marking kids tardy in the beginning because we know it may take a little time.
Are the remote days more flexible like in the spring? Are there's just specific assignments due at some point of the day, or is it a full structured day where the kids are accountable 9 to 3?
So we're going to give children a schedule, and we're going to provide some online, some offline. The idea is that when they've been in school on Wednesday, then on Thursday, they're going to work on assignments that are sort of a follow-up to what they were learning in person. And then when they come back on Friday, teachers are going to go over some of those assignments and give some feedback to the students. But it will be a schedule, but I think there's going to be flexibility also, because it's not like you're going to have this video at 9 o'clock and you have to attend. And that's why we're providing the videos on those days, so it can be a little more flexible for parents too, when they may have time to support their students.
This one, if we're signed up for the bus, but our children will be picked up each day, how will we be able to get the bag you are sending for parents who are picking up with the sticker?
So I am, your letter that comes in the mail will say, this is what we have in our system. So if you sign up for bus, you are considered a bus student. But if you are going to be changing that, then you need to let us know. I am sending pickup numbers to all students who are not signed up either for Champions or for bus. So anyone who does not have a bus sign up or Champions will automatically be assigned a pickup number. But that's why it's important when you get that letter, if the information that I have in that letter printed for you is different, then call the school and we'll make that change. And we'll get you the number if that's the case.
Okay, how will anxious, nervous children be handled at drop-off, anticipating some nervousness on the first day of K? I think you addressed that with, you can park and call the office, and we certainly can help assist.
We have an adjustment counselor who, in any normal year, will help kindergarten students. So there'll be staff to help them out.
Okay, so for cohort 1, what should they do for the first day of school learning Wednesday if they don't get their computers until Thursday?
So I believe that the teachers are going to be providing activities that can be done. You know, there may be some online component, but if you have your own device, you can certainly do those. But other than that, they're just going to have to wait till they get to school. We're just not going to be able to do another drop-off.
Okay, they're concerned about students and teachers who are unable to wear a mask due to health reasons. Will they be required to at least wear a face shield?
So the regulations say that if a child has a medical reason, they can be excused from wearing a mask. We certainly, you know, with some children, we might try shields. They also may not be ones that they're going to be able to use. So they would be just needing to be physically distancing. We do have a full policy that will be part of that, the reopening plan. There will be a link to that. The school committee has a policy, and it goes over all the details about wearing masks and who can be excused and what the options are.
Okay, so it was just a question about dismissal is still 3:35. It's only 3 o'clock if you want to dismiss early. So it is still 3:35.
So, and actually 3:35 is the official time, but we're going to probably start. The buses usually arrive a little bit later. So we're going to start, we're going to try to start around 3:30 with that parent pickup so we can get everyone moving and then be able to do the buses. So, but it's only if you wanted to do an early dismissal. We're not going to do early dismissal between 3 and 3:30.
Okay. Someone's asking, what is Champions?
Oh, Champions is our before and after care program. It is a private company that leases space from Norton Public Schools, and you can enroll your child if you need childcare either before or after. And this year they're also providing during the day those remote learning days. Some parents have signed up and they will be providing that service.
Okay, do kindergartners get Chromebooks? I think we said that they get the iPad.
They get iPads.
Are the desks shared Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday, kids? Will the kids need to bring their supplies back and forth?
So we're going to ask them to bring their backpacks back and forth, but we have purchased bins for all classrooms. So within the classroom, every single child will have their own bin where they can keep their pencil box, their foundations board, any materials that they use. We're not sharing any materials. And so they have their individualized math, manipulatives, and all of those things that they might need to be using and touching. Most of that stays in school, but if it's something that they need for that remote learning day, learning at home, they may then bring that, and then they need to bring the kit back. But I'm also encouraging parents not to send anything extra because they will not be able to store anything in their desk. So no toys, no, just what was in the supply list and what the teachers may be requesting on a daily basis.
Okay, can they buy lunch or do they need to bring a lunch?
So we do have, we can still buy lunch, and those who qualify will also have free and reduced lunch. What they're doing is it's going to be a bag lunch, and because elementary kids, it just would, we would have such a long line. The cafeteria workers are actually bringing the lunch to each student at their desk. So they're not lining up to go on the counter and buy. And I'm not sure whether there's more than one choice. That I don't know yet.
Okay, someone asked about, will we be using School Brains? The school does use School Brains.
But I am not sure if typically K through 5, we have not used School Brains like the middle and high school does.
Right.
I know it was opened up to parents this spring to see the report cards, but I don't believe we're using it in any large scale.
Right, not for the parents, right? Will fully remote children be checking in for attendance in the AM and PM? Will they have a dedicated Norton Public School teacher?
So we do have teachers. We have, I believe it's KM 1 and 2 and 3, and then 4 and 5. So there will be a teacher who's Norton Public Schools employee who will be supervising the remote learning students. And I believe they will be still taking attendance, and they will have meetings with the students. They're not teaching the students because the Florida virtual school is the platform and the teaching platform, but they will be checking in and helping students. But they'll probably have a little bit higher caseload because they are taking all the remote students in 2 grade levels.
Okay, so are there going to be a minimum of the number of days a child can miss of school remote learning before a penalty occurs?
All parents' choice remote. I am not sure, but I would imagine that because this is a public school and they're going to public school, we need to stick to the state laws that say they can't miss more than 14 days in a year. They probably will account to the fact that we only have 170 days instead of 180, but I'm pretty sure that they're going to be still under the same guidelines as going in person.
Okay, so just a question about IDs at pickup. So if you have the pass, right, you don't need your ID.
No, if you have the pass, it's on your window. we're just gonna have you pick up. But if it's somebody else who normally doesn't come, or it's a child who normally takes the bus or goes to Champions, we do need a note ahead of time. We need to know who that person is, and then we will be checking their license. So if you are having someone other than normal pickup coming to pick up your child, or if you're making a change to bus routine, they do need to show an ID.
Okay. My son is in first grade. I didn't receive a student email with the iPad and emailed the tech department. Haven't heard anything yet. They should receive it then on the first day.
Yeah, so you didn't, if you did not, there was an email that went out about the pickup. It was the 3rd, I believe, yes, the 3rd of September. So if you did not get an email about picking up the iPad or the Chromebook, you should call the school tomorrow, because we need to check if we have the correct email address on file.
Okay, when and how do we get the pickup tags for the cars? I believe you said that you're mailing them.
Yes, we're hoping to put them in the mail tomorrow with the class placement.
All right, should notes be sent for teachers via email or paper?
So that is a good question. We, as a district, haven't really decided on, so I would say right now, use the paper. Because sometimes emails, once the teacher has started the day, they really don't have the capacity to be checking the email. So I would say send a note until we might tell you something different.
Okay, the next thing, teachers will be directing kids of all grade levels to their classrooms, especially the first couple of days, helping them to get where they need to go. Will parents have a brief course on how to implement the Florida virtual school program, since there'll be no teachers available to teach it, or teachers through this program? Thank you.
So there will be a presentation on, I believe, Tuesday night for all of the parents who have chosen the parent remote option. And I believe Mrs. O'Neill and Mrs. Winsper, the tech director, will be there to provide information and then also answer questions. You'll get an invite for that event.
All right, so someone asked if they already have access to the remote curriculum yet.
I don't believe people have. I don't think anyone has been provided with the access to the Florida virtual school yet.
Okay, all right, so how will lunch purchasing work?
So we're hoping that a lot of parents will continue using the online where they prepay so that the children have money in their account. But we are also accepting money on that day, because that's a federal requirement. So we're encouraging you to pay ahead of time so they have an account, but they can also bring the money in. There will be no snacks this year, no ice cream.
Okay, how will OT be handled?
So our occupational therapists will be providing services both in and out of the classroom as appropriate for each child based on their IEP. Of course, given the nature of OT, some of that social distancing, they might be a little closer, but of course, masks will be worn, face shields. We also have some, more substantial PPE if necessary, because as we know, OT is a hands-on type of thing, but of course, social distancing as much as possible, and both in and out of the classroom. Your child's liaison will be reaching out to you if they haven't already in the next few days to describe a little bit more about what that might look like, or please feel free to reach out to me and I can share your questions with our OT. Thank you.
Okay, so we got an answer to the where the login info is. It's called ClassLink. So when the remote children receive, okay. Will the remote only children receive instructions and supply lists? Yes, they will.
Yes, so I had sent via email to all families the supply list, but I did write that the virtual schools parents may want to wait, because I'm not exactly sure what they're going to be needing for their schoolwork. So, but we do have the grade level lists that should have gone home, and I believe they may be posted on the website. I believe Karina posted them there too.
Okay, so during virtual days, I believe that's the learning from home, will assignments be required to be completed and submitted before the end of the day, or will families be able to have flex learning times at home to work with schedules and childcare?
So I would imagine that you would have time to submit up until the next day when they go in person again, because teachers will be looking at some of that work and maybe going over some of that work in class.
Okay, so what are the requirements for having the camera on? I'm assuming this is for that Zoom meeting on Monday. What if a child doesn't want the camera on, at least at the beginning?
I think that's fine. I think whatever the comfort level is. And if they just want to listen to it, that's fine too. And even we're going to try to have everyone attend every day, and we will take attendance. But if there's a day that they're just not going to be able to get on, I'm sure the teachers can work with that too.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll work individually with students, you know, to get them used to this. Is even though we started it in the spring, this is still really new to us and really new to our young people. So of course, you know, the teachers will be working with students to get them more comfortable with this. And the next question, will students receive speech and OT? Will they be leaving the classroom, or will the therapist be coming to them? And the answer is it's going to be a combination of both, based on the IEP needs and what a child is working on. There are certain skills that of course can't be practiced within the classroom. So it'll be on and you know, based on IEP goals and specific services for each individual child.
Okay. We do not have the correct cord, but we'll send the tablet and cord in on the first day. Yes, there were some cords that were given out incorrectly, and you will just swap them out the first day. Is there any way to switch your cohort if your childcare situations or work schedules change?
So at this point, it would be very difficult. We were able to honor all of the requests that we got from parents and also the sibling requests. And we're trying to cap each classroom cohort no more than 12, because that's what we feel that we have comfortably room for in the classroom. So the only way I would be able to switch now is if there's somebody else who's asking for something different, or if there's a new student coming in. But some of our cohort numbers are already at the max, especially at third grade level. So I wouldn't be able to necessarily do that. You can contact me, but I can't guarantee that I can make the switch at this point.
Okay, will we be able to walk up to the school for pickup, drop up, or must we pull up our vehicle?
There's not going to be any walking pickup or drop off. It's all going to be live. Or, I mean, we can't have people congregating, and then we have kids coming in too. So that's the recommendation from the Department of Education, that it is a live pickup and drop off.
Okay, so will you be notified if there are children in the classroom that are not required to wear masks?
That I don't know what the answer is. I know that there's some confidentiality things that we need to worry about, but I will make a note on that. I don't have the answer to that right now.
Okay, will specials only be on in-person days?
So specials will be scheduled in the in-person days, but there is some opportunity to do a special via videotape during the learning at home days. So there won't be a live special scheduled, but there will be choices. There will, the specialists are actually working on a website that the teachers will link, and there will be posted activities that they're doing for the week so that anyone can join. They're probably going to break it into two groups, the younger kids and then a little bit older kids, but there will be opportunities to do that.
Okay, so there's another question about the attendance on the learning from home days. Just some clarification on whether that will be taken, or is it just for higher grades?
So I don't have a definite answer to that yet, and how we're going to be taking the attendance. So, but we are, per Department of Education, we are required to take attendance.
It'll probably be handled on more of a classroom to classroom and grade level to grade level basis.
Right.
Okay, so my son is a chatty Cathy and loves to hug. So how would that problem be addressed?
So we are trying to teach, our PBIS team has been hard at work trying to plan activities that will help kids cope with this new normal. I already know that Mrs. Harvey put up a bulletin board about air hugs and, you know, all these other kinds of things that we can do, high fives, instead of touching each other. So, so we're going to be teaching kids some strategies that they can use and still socially distance.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
definitely going to be a big piece of our first couple of weeks, helping kids to understand this sort of new way of coming to school and interacting with their friends.
Definitely. Where will students be keeping their water bottles? Will they be kept at their desk? I would say yes.
Yeah, probably at the desk or on the floor next to their desk.
Okay.
And we're
Question
also
about,
asking parents in my the reopening plan, and there is a recommendation that, and I believe the teachers put it in their supply list, that if parents could fill the water bottle so that comes to school filled, because we have limited water fountains that are touchless, and we can only send one student at a time, and we're really trying to minimize walking around the hallways also. And so we can't have kids do that same time.
right. And you can also send an additional water bottle with them if you feel, and they can keep it in their backpack too. All right, so drop off, can we walk our kids? Oh, back to the, no. You stay in your cars and you drop off that way. And then they come out and then we walk them to the building. My child was signed up for the bus, but we opted out to drop off pickup in the survey a few weeks ago. Will we be given a pickup pass?
So I have the list from the survey, what people chose, and at this point I'm going to go with that. So that's what will be in your letter. So if you chose a bus, you'll probably, your letter will say bus. But if there's any changes to that you may be opted to do earlier, you just need to call the school office so that we have in our school brains records the correct way of dismissal, so that on the first day we know where everyone's going.
Okay, I'll answer the next one. Pre-K, they had missed the pre-K meeting. It is recorded and it will be uploaded to the district website. We do not have cohorts because we are in person Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So, and your teacher should be reaching out to you as soon as possible, but definitely email me if you don't know the days that you're coming. Will they have their usual JCS folders to send notes and work them back for? Yes. How are you taking attendance? Oh, we already said that on the home learning days.
I think, like I said, I think that'll be handled by the classroom
Handled by the
teacher.
teacher, right?
Yep.
Will there be assigned teachers for remote learning? Will there be speech and reading for remote kids?
So for, I think I know what I recognize your name. There's a teacher assigned for remote learning. There's also a special educator assigned to remote learning who will be providing services. As far as speech and language for remote learning students, that will be provided through a telehealth company. And of course, right now I can't think of the name of it, but it's a reputable company that has been doing this for over a decade. And they will be providing those speech and language services remotely for children who have decided to do parent choice remote.
All right, so Diana, you're the best.
Oh, thank you so much, Michelle.
Yeah. And no, that won't be an issue if he's sneezing a lot from allergies. We probably just recommend to send in extra masks.
Yeah, and if you get a minute, it might not hurt to get a note from the doctor just to cover that as well. I know Desi's recommendation has been to cover those if possible, just so if there are any questions.
What is the notification process if there are positive COVID cases in the classroom / cohort?
So I believe Dr. Byetta is going to be either presenting to parents at some point, or we do have a full process, and it may have already been emailed.
It was last night. Yeah,
okay.
he did present it last night. The virtual town hall meeting was recorded and it should be uploaded on our district website. And it also does have all the information regarding that. All right, thank you for all your hard work. This is not easy. Please know how valued are. Thank you, Carrie. Let's see, where will masks be kept during mask breaks? Should each student be sending in a bag or container to keep their mask when off? Great question.
All right, so we're problem solving with this because the Department of Education says that we're going to put them on the paper napkin. So in a lunch situation, that may not be the best solution to try to get paper napkins for everyone or ask parents to send one. So our nurse actually consulted us with this, and what we're going to do is we're going to give each child a paper bag, just like a paper lunch bag, and we already ordered them. And we're going to teach them how to take the mask off, fold it in half so you're protecting the inner part, and from the earpieces to put it in the paper bag, and then again pull the pieces that go behind your ears and then open the mask and put it back on. We've also, some teachers may be using a lanyard, the kind of lanyard that we used to use for IDs. So again, the students can fold their mask and then clip the earpieces so that it stays closed. And then as far as recess, they're not really going to be running around, but we also are worried about if we put the mask down somewhere, they're going to blow away or whatever else happens. So the third way that they can protect their mask while they're taking a mask break is we fold the mask in half and they put the loops through their arm and put it like in the crook of their elbow to hold it in place and away from everybody else. So those are the plans that we have right now for the masks.
Another good mask note to think about is, I'm very sorry, is Easton Public Schools is calling me, is for you to bring an extra clean mask, just in case, because we are, pre-K to 3, and, things might get wet or spilled, or, all the things that can happen to anything that's fabric at home. So make sure that you have a clean mask and a baggie for them, as well as the mask that they're planning on wearing for the day.
Yeah, but we also do have extra masks. So should a mask break or something happens and the child doesn't have another one, we can provide a mask for them.
Okay, so is the playground equipment being cleaned?
So as of today, we are not using the play structures because there's no way that we could be cleaning them. But that is something that I just haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but there was an email about playground today, so I don't know if there hasn't been a change to that. But as far as I know, the latest is that we're not going to be using them. They are open. People use them after hours, and I believe there's going to be signs saying that we're not responsible for them cleaning them because we just don't have the capacity to do that in between the groups.
Okay, so if a student's on a 504, will walking breaks and flex seating, will they be accommodated? And that answer is yes.
All accommodations on 504s or IEPs will be accommodated within the classroom for students.
That's definitely. Will the mask breaks other than lunch and snack time? Yes. How will fire and lockdown drills be handled?
I believe the town is currently working with the fire department on those. We still need to hold them, correct, Rita?
Yeah, yes, we're going to have them. I actually met with the fire chief, and he did a walkthrough in the building, and we were informed that for fire drills, we're going to get out. We're not going to be worried about social distancing. That is the expectation that comes from them and their direction. Once we get outside, we will socially distance, but it's just going to be get out as quickly as you can because it's something that we're required to do at least, 2 times because of our kids, the way they, so that everyone's part of that practice because we have PM preschoolers. So we want to make sure that everyone has practiced.
Okay, and just one last question, clarifying that art, music, PE, and computers will be in the classrooms this year. And the answer is yes.
The only one that if the weather is permitting, there are some regulations from Department of Education. You can't, you have to be socially distanced. You can't do a lot of these movement kinds of things unless you have space. So the wellness teacher is planning on taking the students out. Fortunately, we have that large area within the fenced-in area of the ball field. So whenever possible, he will try to take students out and do alternative activities. They're not going to be able to chase a ball and, play catch, but he has some other plans so that they get to go outside another class too.
So will there be, one last one, go noodle breaks, et cetera, to try to get the kids through these times with hard changes they need to deal with?
Yeah, teachers are definitely, they do it on a regular basis, even without COVID, and they're definitely going to do that. And we're gonna work on academics, but when they first come in, we're going to take care of the kids. We're going to bond. We're going to build community, and we're going to help kids who might be having a hard time because we haven't been in school for so long. So that's the focus for the first couple of weeks at least.
Okay, are snacks provided by parents or the school? That would be parents.
Parents.
Great, thanks so much. Thank you. Any other questions? I'll give a minute or two. If there's any other questions or something that we might have missed, definitely type it in now. Thank you, everyone. Oh, will students need extra supplies for art?
So right now, we haven't determined that yet. Most likely we're gonna get those because they can't share materials again. So whatever we have available, and then if we need to, we will order some more. We've ordered a lot of things like some little containers of Play-Doh for the younger kids and things like that so that they don't have to share, but we still have some of those materials that teachers typically would use. Even during, indoor recess time, they can't really share. So we're gonna hope to provide all of those things for them.
Okay, last question. Are we able to get out of the car at pickup? I think we said yes if you need to buckle them or put them in a car seat.
Yes, and but you're gonna stay at your car. So we're gonna release the child to you, but certainly if you need to buckle, just make sure that you're wearing a mask.
Is there a designated rest time for kindergartners?
Kindergarten doesn't typically have a rest time. They do have a quiet time. They do have the full yoga mats that they can utilize, but typically it's some kids will be reading. Sometimes in the beginning of the year, some kindergartners actually will fall asleep. So it all depends, but there will be a time provided for that.
All right, and yes, you're right. Siblings will be released at the same time, correct?
Yes.
Yes. All right, looks like there's no more questions.
Okay.
A couple more seconds. Well, thank you, everyone.
Thank you for attending today. And we're really looking forward to seeing the kids in the school. And I think it's gonna all work out. I know it's gonna be different. And like I said in the beginning, if you have any suggestions that we could tweak some things, we are more than open to do that. We want to make it work for everyone.
Yes, thank you so much. Of course, we all know this is new for all of us. So we're looking forward to having the kiddos back and are ready to tackle this year. Thank you guys.
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
One final look for questions, Anne-Marie. Do we have any more? Or
No, just thank you and appreciating it. So yes, thank you very much.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's
Have a
it.
good night.
All right, thanks everyone. Have a good night.
All right, have a good night.
So I'm gonna stop.
And how do I?
Okay, stop.